Hey guys, Brennan here. Just thought I'd make another video today. By the time this video comes out, it'll be my birthday, June 25th. And I got a comment back in December, basically from some person I don't know. They said, hey, we understand life happens and you have shit to deal with, but we still think you have a lot of things to say. And that never really left my mind. I always thought about that comment. And I kind of agree, because there's some things I've learned over the years that not a lot of people are talking about. And I think it's very important for like where society is going and the problems that humanity faces financially, economically, societally, environmentally. There's going to be all these changes that are going to be happening in the next few years. The World Economic Forum calls it the Great Reset. A famous demographer, his name is Neil Howe, he calls it the fourth turning. Basically, we'll see a lot of societal upheaval, revolutions, a lot of change that usually decades would play out and this change would occur, but in the span of years. Basically 2030s is when we'll see the start of what Neil Howe calls the first turning. And that's essentially the reset, and society begins anew with new rules. So yeah, there's lots of things that this channel will focus on. It'll focus on societal issues, environmental issues, basically everything I just said, because there's lots to talk about. There's always something new going on in the news. It seems like there's a new terrible headline each and every day, like what's happening in Israel with the hot war that's going on over there with Iran. At the time of recording this, there's a supposed ceasefire that's been talked about between the leaders of Iran, Israel, and the US. How long that'll hold up, who knows? Just basically, I'm kind of doubtful that it stops there worldwide, just because of the times we're in. You know, the worldwide global economy, it's slowing down, and there happens to be a heavy correlation between economic slowdowns and war. They're pretty tied together. So yeah, if that happens to be the one and only hot war that starts this year and continues to be that way for the next decade, I'll be happy, but I'm doubtful. So yeah, and then I'd like to talk about even there's a war on essentially ownership rights, and people just being priced out of the market. And so this kind of goes back to the World Economic Forum and their projection of you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. And so there's lots I'd like to talk about in regards to that. I'd like to talk about what's called the Great Taking. That's kind of a conspiracy theory that David Rogers Webb brought to the attention of many investors. And basically it says that because a lot of people have been essentially misled when it comes to true ownership of, say, stocks. Like I've already talked about this on my channel, how if they're held in a brokerage, you don't actually own them. That if we see a problem in financial markets, if they start to crack, like my voice did just then and now, basically you could lose your ownership of those stocks, and they could be lost in hypothecation and rehypothecation to big financial players, especially if the derivatives market goes down, because the derivatives market is quite large and quite unstable. So yeah, there's lots of things to talk about, like even cheap peak oil. That's going to be one of the biggest problems that humanity faces in the coming years. And energy and the economy are directly correlated with each other. And, you know, in the coming years, I'm not saying we're hitting peak oil. I'm saying we're hitting cheap peak oil. So the more expensive oil gets, basically less economic growth, because the cheaper the energy is, the bigger the economic gains. So yeah, I also just need to get better at public speaking. I'm really bad at it. So this channel is kind of, it's a passion project of mine. I don't expect to eventually monetize this one day. But what I would like to do is basically get better at my speaking and share the information that I've learned over the years to you guys, because that's what I care about. I care about more and more people understanding the problems that face us, so that way we can all come out of whatever time period we're in right now relatively unscathed and in better condition than we would if we were all blindsided, if that makes sense. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this. My goal is to release at least one video per month. That way it gives me time to put the research together and make the best video quality that I can per video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.